just 3 guys. There were dozens of these people.
Right.
So I just, and maybe call me a conspiracy theorist, and I never like to go down these routes, but the president and the White House starting to get more heat on Benghazi. Why aren't you guys doing anything? Why have there been no arrests or any accountability? And, oh, well, the FBI, after 8 months of silence, all of a sudden has some photos to show us.
It sort of seems to me like they're trying to give the appearance. Tim, let me ask you. Well, let's be fair here. It seems to me they're giving the appearance to the administration. They're saying, oh, well, we've released the photos, so we're hoping to find these guys. If they were actually trying to find them, it would seem to me it would be through international law enforcement to law enforcement or intelligence to intelligence agency cooperation. Why release photos of these guys when we know they're at large, and this certainly has to make them have their operational security raised even more? Or is there a real reason that you can think of?
Well, yeah, there are a few reasons. One is, don't forget the Rewards for Justice program is a vast program of high cash incentives to get people that are all over the world, Al-Qaeda members and others. Remember, bin Laden had a $25 million bounty on his head, and there were matchbooks dropped all over the third world, especially in Arab countries, with his image on there and the $25 million reward stated. These individuals are wanted, and if I could backtrack a little bit on the FBI's involvement, I was part of the National Capital Response Squad, which was part of the Joint Terrorism Task Force in Washington, D.C., and we responded to any terrorist event in the Middle East, in Africa, and in Europe. And like a similar example would be the attack on the USS Cole, where within 2 hours, my pager went off and I was on my way to Andrews Air Force Base with the rest of our team and flying to Yemen. Very next morning we arrived and we were working that crime scene, working the area of Aden, and the FBI was kept out of Benghazi for 3.5 weeks.
Well, that's
my friends,
right.
Yeah, my friends that were on that squad that would have responded within hours were days and weeks later.
Is there any explanation for that, Tim? Is there any explanation for why the FBI was kept away from that, or didn't go to the crime scene anyway, for 3.5 weeks?
Well, they were told, the individuals that would have deployed were told it was too dangerous, and I would refute that because I spent months in Iraq during the war working for the FBI, working crime scenes and bombings. I deployed to Sarajevo in the week of our attacks in March of 1999 against Kosovo. I was there working in assassination, and you know, we worked the U.S. Embassy bombings in Kenya and Tanzania, which were both hostile environments at that time because of Al-Qaeda presence there. And again, the USS Cole in Yemen, where, you know, we had terrorists attack a Navy vessel.
Yeah, Tim, so it seems you've given us the answer here. I mean, yes, there's the Justice for Rewards program, but as you point out, they could have gotten on the ground so much faster. Releasing the photos of these guys 8 months later, releasing them 2 days later, it would seem, would be more likely to get a response. But holding it to this point, if you're actually going to enlist the public, seems a little strange. But I want to move on, guys, for 1 second to where the investigation is now with regard to the Inspector General, what's going on in the State Department. They've been claiming recently that this thing is all over with, if you will. There's nothing to talk about, including this State Department official who just said, we've given all the answers we're going to give. Play the clip.
I think that we've done an independent investigation, that it's been transparent, thorough, credible, and detailed, and that we've shared those findings with the U.S. Congress.
And that should be enough.
And that should be enough.
Oh, they're saying it should be enough. No more answers, no more questions, nothing going to come through this. Jay Carney, for Jay Carney even, got a little smarmy, and he said that Benghazi happened a long time ago. Play that clip.
Benghazi happened a long time ago. We are unaware of any agency blocking an employee who would like to appear before Congress to provide information related to Benghazi.
You know, let me
the executive branch, Will, how can they not be aware of this? Sorry.
Let me ask you this. We have 3 new pieces of information, but the story seemingly remains the same. And if I can we just jump to the conclusion section of this? Is the conclusion this, that the Obama administration did not provide adequate security ahead of this tragedy? During the tragedy, they were not responsive to security calls, and ever since then, there has been an attempt to cover up those 2 mistakes. Is that the conclusion of all of this?
I don't know. Is there another conclusion that could be reached from any of the evidence we've seen?
I don't think that we have to jump through hoops to reach those conclusions. We now have multiple unnamed sources who might become named sources next Wednesday, by the way, at a major House hearing. You know, these guys have said during the attack phase of this, there were multiple appeals for help from Woods and Doherty, the 2 SEALs, who were battling for hours against the enemy, radioing for help in constant contact. And it goes without saying, it is very clearly obvious to anyone who just has 2 eyes and can read that there was not sufficient.
And don't forget the YouTube video cover-up portion of this.
Of course. That's been one of the, I think, most odious components of the whole thing, because that was so blatantly false. But it's really about getting answers now, and I think John McCain spoke to that. Let's play that.
I'm not accusing them of a cover-up, but I am accusing them and I am very strongly accusing him of not providing the Congress of the United States with the information that's needed for us to conclude this tragic chapter in American history.
Tim, is there any reason why the executive branch can't give a blanket order of cooperation to anybody within the executive branch to be able to testify in front of Congress? Is there some problem with that we're not aware of?
The only thing is if there were national security concerns, and the only things I can possibly surmise from this is that there was a program ongoing in Benghazi, in Tripoli, that was very classified, maybe, that they don't want Congress to know about. You know, are we talking about the Iran-Contra scandal here? Or was there, you know, because there's no reason to impede investigators. All FBI agents have top secret clearances and above. Nobody has higher clearances. So not admitting the FBI, there's no reason.
Well, that's fascinating to me, Tim, because the truth is, when we're talking about the cover-up, it seems to me the cover-up is too intricate for the supposed mistake it's covering up, right? Okay, you didn't handle security measures ahead of time adequately. Does that merit this elaborate cover-up, this obstinate cover-up for the months
letting Americans die and not sending in the cavalry?
I think Tim's proposition, I know he's speculating that there could have been something more, such as a covert operation going in that time. That seems more plausible.
It's so ham